A very good Friday morning to everyone out there across the Wobbles community. Landon here with you in the driver's seat, bringing you your latest weather and night forecast courtesy of On Target. We got widespread showers and a few storms rolling up into the region this morning, folks. Nothing severe, that is the good news. But it is worth noting with the moderate and heavy rains right here on our doorstep, we're going to be looking at a combination of low visibility along with some ponding on roadways for the morning commute. So give yourself an extra few minutes before you head out the door. You can see this is moving here at a northeastward direction. We got the heaviest rain about to enter the far southwestern side of the Wobbles region right there in Logan County. We can take off the lines for you and back this up, and you can see the rain is going to try to get out of here by the time we roll into mid-morning on into midday, tapering off to just patchy sprinkles as we progress on throughout our Friday. So we get past this morning, folks. We get this slug of deep moisture through the region. We're going to try to settle things down by this afternoon, but we're going to be gearing up for another round of potentially even heavier rain and strong storms as we roll later into our Saturday on into the final day of the weekend. Let's jump across the region, shall we? D93 Skycam in downtown Bowling Green. Got light scattered showers pattering the pavement there on College Street. Be chopping it up with the Tony Rose around 7:30 a.m. to break down all of your weekend weather. It'll be right around the 7:30 a.m. hour. Peachtree News Skycam, a little bit heavier rain up in Butler County where the initial slug of moisture is already arriving there from the west. Keeping eyes on this, folks. We'll be wet throughout this morning, but again, as time progresses, we should see some improvement throughout the day. Temperatures hanging out right around the low and mid 50s. We're going to be putting highs right there around the 60-degree mark with the thick cloud cover. We're not going to see much diurnal change in temperatures from this morning by the time that we roll into this afternoon. Looking at our surface map, we got this area of low pressure that is pinwheeling this occluded front off to the north and east, folks. This is dragging all of that deep moisture straight up and into our vicinity as a result. We're looking here at the latest model guidance as is valid for right now, 6 a.m. on this Friday morning, and you can see the Euro is picking up very nicely on the initial slug of moisture moving up here through the region. Short-term model guidance is picking up on it nicely as well. Here we are looking at right at the 6 and 7 a.m. hour. We got the heaviest rainfall that is now arriving. As previously mentioned, folks, take a look. By the time we roll into the midday time frame, right around 10 a.m. on into lunchtime, the bulk of the heaviest rainfall should be right along and east of the I-65 corridor. As we progress throughout this Friday afternoon, again, light spattered showers out there, some patchy sprinkles, but it's going to be a far cry from the widespread showers and rumbles of thunder we're going to have to deal with throughout this morning, all right? Now, as previously mentioned, folks, we're going to be keeping an eye on things because we've got another weather maker right on our heels after this one passes. Here we are working throughout the overnight, even into our Saturday morning. The showers are going to be light and hit and miss in nature. But by the time we roll into our Saturday afternoon, you can take a look at how our surface setup is going to evolve. We got this secondary surface low right here over East Texas in tandem with this cold front that's leading out ahead of it, folks. This is only going to encourage the deeper moisture to arrive into our vicinity out of the Gulf of Mexico. Whenever this arrives, we're expecting the heaviest rainfall between today and throughout the weekend to take place Saturday evening all the way into the early morning hours of our Sunday is whenever we're going to see the heaviest rain and strongest storms arrive here across the region, all right? So here we are rolling into Saturday afternoon. Here we are getting into Saturday night, and then we roll into the pre-dawn hours of Sunday, and you can see the heaviest rainfall is going to be arriving right around this point in time. Now, as it does so, you can take note here. We'll get back to our short-range model guidance. You stay just light and scattered in nature with the shower front throughout our Friday night. Here we are looking at Saturday morning, and then we get into and after sunset Saturday evening. The initial slug of moisture will be arriving at some point around 8 or 9 p.m., and then becoming very heavy in nature. We're going to have to keep an eye on things right here around the late evening and throughout the morning hours of our Sunday we'll have the heaviest rainfall that's going to arrive, folks, but with the dynamics within the atmosphere, we got a little lobe of instability trying to work up in here as well. We could deal with some strong thunderstorms as a result of this. We're not expecting any sort of widespread severe weather, nothing like that. But we could have maybe an isolated damaging wind gust or two be produced with the parameters and ingredients that we are seeing throughout the atmosphere. So let's go ahead and let's get into that. First and foremost, we're going to take a look at precipitable water values. This is if we were to take the column of air and wring it out like a dish rag, how much total rainfall and moisture the system will be able to put out. And as you can see here, working into this morning, folks, precipitable water values this time of year in late December, early January, over an inch, that is very significant. That is very deep moisture for this time of year. And then we lose that as we work throughout our afternoon and all the way throughout our Saturday morning. But folks, as promised, here comes the secondary system Saturday night. All the way into our Sunday morning, we're going to be approaching 1.5 inches in the precipitable water department before that finally clears out of here and brings drier conditions, at least for a brief reprieve on Monday on the start of New Year's week. Now, the one big ingredient we are missing to create any sort of widespread severe weather out of this is our instability. We got a little lobe working up here with this initial round this morning. And then all eyes are going to turn to late Saturday evening through Sunday morning. And you can see a little bit better instability arrives. This is what we'll be keeping our eyes on. I'm not overly concerned with what I'm seeing, but we might get in on some strong storms out of this, along with the copious amounts of rainfall it's going to be coming along with that, all right? We're going to have a secondary weather maker that's going to work in here as we work into New Year's week, and it's going to be arriving, of course, right on New Year's Eve. So we get this slug of moisture out of here by Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. Monday will be dry underneath cloudy skies, but this low pressure system jolts in here out of the north and west. By the time we work into New Year's Eve, widespread rain showers come right back into the mix. And then we dry out with a much colder jolt of air arriving out of the north and west right as we enter the first few days of 2025. Speaking on the cold scale, folks, take a look. We're looking at 20,000 feet up above our head. This is valid for Monday afternoon. And whenever this little lobe of low pressure skirts down in this northwest flow, take a look at the pattern shift we're going to see. Drastic surge of colder air works in here Wednesday into Thursday of next week. Folks, as we get into Thursday and Friday of next week, roughly a week from today, we're probably not going to be escaping the mid-30s for highs, all right? But not just that, keep your eyes on things. A brief warm-up right around January 5th, January 6th. And then, folks, we enter the mid part of January. We get into the second and third week. And take a look at this cold pattern that's just going to take over. Snow lovers, keep your digits crossed out there. It looks like we're going to get the cold locked in here for a period of 4 to 5 days, maybe even over the course of a week. If we can get any weak disturbances to get through here with the cold being locked in, you already know what I'm going to say. Some wintry weather shenanigans could be on the agenda for us. So, all you snow lovers out there, get your snow dances in. Hopefully we can see some of the frozen precipitation in the form of snow, of course, not ice. We don't want any of that to bring us some winter weather here as we get towards the mid part of January, all right? Rolling back here to the short-term model guidance, we have been placed right on the cusp of a marginal risk of severe weather. This is valid for Saturday night into Sunday morning. Again, folks, it's right along the border of Tennessee and Kentucky. I'm not expecting any sort of widespread significant threats in regards to severe weather, but we could get a few strong storms in here as a result. Total rainfall amounts, there's not going to be any shortage of that, folks. We're going to be looking at anywhere from 1/4 of an inch up to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall with the heavy rain that's moving in as we speak. And then the heavier rain will be arriving Saturday evening all the way through our Sunday with an additional 1 to 2 inches. You can see there, folks, 1 to 3 inches of total rainfall from today throughout the entirety of the weekend is pretty much what we have in play for us, all right? So here's a full breakdown of your next 6-day weather forecast brought to you by Ohio Valley Insurance. Widespread rain showers, a few rumbles of thunder today, highs right around the 60-degree mark. Mid and upper 60s throughout our Saturday. Folks, we might break some records here on Saturday afternoon. It's going to be hard to, but if we reach the upper 60s, we're going to be 20 to 25 degrees above average for this time of year. Just light and scattered rain showers becoming more prominent during the afternoon. Widespread overnight, a few storms could become strong, continuing throughout our Sunday. Monday, going to keep some cloud cover around, but highs right around the 60-degree mark. Mid and upper 50s on Tuesday with that next round of light rain, and then the bottom drops out. New Year's Day, highs right around the 40-degree mark. We roll into a Thursday and Friday thereafter. We're not going to be escaping the 30s for highs as well. Friends, that'll wrap up your Friday morning weather or not forecast brought to you by On